Okay, now we are onto a movie which I actually have really personal feelings toward. Well, this one right here, because, well, I was alive when this movie came out. Here's the thing, I was at the perfect age for this. Because on the channel I was watching, or growing up watching cartoons, and they've recently re-aired Turtles in Space and Secret Origins, which are actually a couple of my favorite Ninja Turtle stories ever told. And frankly, yeah, at this age, this is when I was starting to really get into Ninja Turtles and being a fan. So the fact that I was getting into it and the fact that a new movie was coming out, I was excited. And, well, I saw a lot of ads. I saw the movie. It was great. However, I don't see many people talk about this movie anymore. I mean, yeah, nowadays I've seen some videos of people saying it's an underrated gem, which it is. But I don't know. I kind of want to talk about it myself right now, seeing as while I'm doing my marathon. And I don't know. This is actually one of my top three favorite Ninja Turtle movies. So let's get into it. The movie begins with a brief narration slash recap on what the Ninja Turtles are, which I think is a good thing for people who are jumping into this not knowing what the Ninja Turtles are. But then again, why would you be watching this movie if you weren't already a Ninja Turtles fan? And it also tells us that the Shredder, at least in this movie, is already dead. Okay, so here's the thing. I like that they just flat out say Shredder is dead because, I don't know, nowadays, whenever we see a Ninja Turtle movie, it's usually Shredder who's the villain, and it always feels kinda like, okay, main villain, here's Shredder, there. It's kinda like with Batman. Whenever we see a Batman movie, everyone expects to see the Joker. And with this movie, I'm happy they chose to do something original. I don't know, that's just how I feel about the whole situation. Anyways, after that brief introduction about the Ninja Turtles, we get this flashback to 3,000 years ago about this great battle and how this one warrior opened a portal to another world where 13 monsters came out, which was interesting. However, in doing this, he becomes immortal and his four greatest generals get turned to stone. And if you're wondering what this has to do with the movie, you'll see later on. Immediately after that, we cut to a village that's being raided by bandits, which thankfully gets saved by Leonardo, who also meets up with April in this place. As in this scene, we're actually getting an update on what the Turtles have been up to in the last few years. For starters, Donatello and Michelangelo got jobs. Donatello became a tech hotline guy, and Michelangelo became a costume mascot for birthday parties. And Raphael became a vigilante called the Night Watcher. And it makes sense, like the Shredder's dead, so the other turtles aren't really interested in crime fighting anymore. However, Raph loves this stuff, so he kept doing it, and he even got himself a little disguise to hide what he is. Even Mikey kind of misses the good old days of fighting crime, but when he says this, Donatello tells him to just let it all behind him. And I actually like this aspect of the movie, like, what would the turtles do if all crime was gone, or at least major stuff? And some people are mixed on this, but I honestly legit like this aspect of the movie. We then cut to the warrior from 3,000 years ago, now going by Winters, who is, well, collecting his old generals from the past. And for what reason? And is also making deals with the Foot Clan, which is still operating despite the fact that Shredder is dead. Later that night, we see Casey join Raph with his whole late night vigilante stuff, which they both actually tend to really enjoy doing. And Casey flat out tells Raph that the disguise wasn't really fooling him. And you can't really blame him, he still has three fingers and he still has a giant metal shell. It would be kind of obvious for anyone to figure it out, especially if they know who the turtles are. And also on that same night, Jesus Christ, how much can happen in one night? The old warrior resurrects his stone soldiers to collect the 13 monsters, just so he can hopefully become mortal again. Want me to tell you some cool fun facts about the voice actors? Well, for one, the guy who voices Winters is Patrick Stewart. Cool, huh? And the guy who does Casey is Chris Evans, who is mostly famous for being Captain America. And the guy who plays Aguila, the one stone warrior, at least the head one at least, yeah, his voice actor would go on to play Shredder in one of the later Ninja Turtle cartoons. Isn't that cool? I don't know. I thought it'd be fun to mention that for people who didn't know this. Now, where were we in the movie? Now, I'm assuming the next night, not the same one that the last few events have happened in, Leonardo returns home, to the delight of his family. Except for Raph, who doesn't really care that he's back. Not too long after Leo's return, the four brothers go off on a little training exercise where Splinter told them not to get into any fights. But while they're out, they come across one of the 13 monsters, and, well, knowing Raph, he jumps in and the rest happen to follow suit. The fight doesn't go too well for the turtles, they end up losing, and right after that happens, the four stone warriors come in and take care of the monster effortlessly. The turtles do try to hide what happened, seeing as they were not supposed to fight that night, but they get caught when Splinter tries to watch his soap operas. It is also around this time that the Foot Clan, along with the Stone Warriors, start tracking down the other monsters, which leads to a pretty cool montage of them trying to track down as many of these things as they can, and I don't know, I actually do like the designs of these monsters. Yeah, some could be generic, but I don't know, I like the way some of them look. Also around this time, Raph and Casey have another one of their late night vigilante moments, and during this time they actually spot another one of the monsters. They do try to chase after it, however one of the Stone Warriors sees them and ends up almost killing Raph. Raph does eventually recover, but he has an argument with Leonardo about what to do next about the whole situation going on right now. It doesn't go too well, and Raph heads back out again just to continue with the whole night vigilante thing, trying to solve everything himself. While he's out, he does find another monster in the back of a kitchen diner. It does lead to a pretty funny fight sequence, but not too long after Raph takes care of it, Leonardo finds him and tries to take him out not knowing he's Raph. Which is weird because even Casey earlier in the movie points out that the disguise does not really hide what he is. Which makes Leonardo look really dumb when he discovers it's Raphael. Which leads to them having another argument. Again. Okay, so here's the thing about Raph and Leo's fight in the movie. I can't really blame either of them because Raph, well, he fights. That's what he's good at, and that's what he likes doing, so he kept at it. Plus, he wore a disguise, so it wasn't that bad. And Leo, well, even he brings up a good point. Like, he doesn't want to risk their family getting discovered and killed. So, I don't know. I can't really blame either of them for wanting to do what they did. And it does lead to a really awesome fight, so I don't know. I can't help but love it. And I am not joking about this fight. It might honestly be the best fight in the whole movie. I'm not going to show too much because I want you to see it for yourself. However, after the fight is over, Leonardo gets captured and the rest of the turtles end up having to go rescue him. Which does lead to a pretty cool scene where the three turtles, Splinter, Casey, and April all storm Winter's tower trying to get to Leo, fighting an endless barrage of foot soldiers. I don't know why, I just love this scene. They all eventually get to save Leo, and Raphael and him do reconcile. Yeah, it feels kinda rushed, but hey, we gotta get the plot moving somehow. It is also here where the Stone Warriors turn on Winter because they want to keep their immortality. And it makes sense, like they were just resurrected a few days ago, while Winters has been alive for over 3,000 years. And that brings us to our climax in the movie. And I'm just gonna say this, there's one thing about this fight that I absolutely love. And you wanna know what it is? It's the fact that all four turtles have someone to fight. And it's not like the other movies where all four of the turtles have to fight one guy together, or sometimes two. Here, they each have an opponent, and throughout the fight, they're just fighting them. I love this, and I wish other Ninja Turtle movies would do this in the future. Anyways, after that happens, Casey and April bring over the last monster, undo the immortality, and everything's set right. And with that, the movie ends with Winters finally dying by turning into, I don't know, sparkly pixie dust. I have no idea what the hell that was supposed to be. And with all the turtles looking off into the distance, waiting for whatever happens to come next in life. We also see in the ending Splinter giving more or less a bit of a memorial to Winter as well. Also, the movie shows off some items from the first three movies. I don't know, this is a pretty cool scene, even if it has nothing to do with anything. Okay, thank you for watching my video on TMNT, a movie that I still think is highly underrated. If you're a Ninja Turtle fan, or even have a slight interest, I highly recommend checking out this movie. And yeah, frankly, I still love it. Like, the animation holds up pretty damn well. The fights are pretty good. I love the story. Yeah, this is a movie I recommend to any Ninja Turtle fan who's at least somewhat curious. So, what are we going to do next? Oh, here's the fun thing with the next movie we're going to be looking at. It was actually a TV movie.